Okay, welcome everyone to the Hidden Houses virtual wholesaling webinar. I really appreciate you being on early. We're going to get started in about 60 seconds. I just want everyone to have a chance to get logged in. I would ask that while we're waiting, if you will, try to eliminate all of the distractions. If you can, turn off your cell phone, shut the door, just so you're able to focus and really be present in what we're going to be talking about, because it will serve you well. I would also encourage you to have pen and paper ready to take notes, so that the things that you hear that resonate with you, you're able to write down so that you don't forget them. So again, thank you for being on. We'll get started in about 1 minute. All right, it's at the top of the hour. I'm in the Mountain Time Zone, so it's 10 a.m. here. Apologize for that. It's noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It's Wednesday, August 12th. My name is Brock Madsen, and I'll be your host today for the webinar. I would ask, as you're logging in, if you'll just go over to the chat section and please put in your name, where you're from, and if you want to, you can add what, if any, real estate experience that you have had. And what we're going to do is we go through the webinar. I'm sure you're going to have questions that come up. I've got one of my team members that's going to be on with me manning the chat. So if you have a question, please just type it into the chat area and one of the team members will answer them for you. So as we're getting started here, I see Mark from Minnesota just logged in. Mark, welcome. Thank you very much. Bill from Seattle, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Looks like we've got Andrew from St. George, Southern Utah. I love it. We got William from Boston, Mass. Okay, we got East Coast represented. Welcome. We got Dean from San Diego. And it looks like Dean said he's done one fix and flip, but lost a little bit of money. All right, that's fine. I appreciate for sharing that, Dean. Welcome. And again, welcome to all of you. By the way, continue to tell us who you are, where you're from. We really appreciate that. But let's jump into this and figure out how to get your first deal done, or if you've got some experience and you're already doing this, how to really scale your business. Now, one other thing before we dive into it, those of you that stay till the end, we have a free gift for you. So at the end of the webinar, if you're still on, which I hope all of you are, we're going to give you Matt's book, Hidden Houses, the 3 most effective ways to find discounted properties in any market. We're going to give that to you totally free. So if you're on at the end, we'll ship or send you an email. You'll get Matt's downloaded version of his book, Hidden Houses. If you will, then, I want you to understand how this virtual wholesaling works. And I want you to understand what to expect, what you'll learn in this training. So we're going to go over what wholesaling really is. I want you to understand the entire process, and not just that, but how to do it virtually. And that's what I'm most excited to talk to you about. We're going to talk to you about what a virtual assistant is. How do you find them, hire them, train them? What tasks do you have them do? All of that. And what tasks do you make sure they never do? We're going to go over how you find deals, or what we call those hidden houses that are in the market. Then also how to find cash buyers, people that are going to want to pay you cash for these properties that you find, and then ultimately how you actually make money doing this. Okay, so I also want you to understand who this training is for and who it's not for. It's for anyone willing to learn and take action, anyone that wants to get involved in real estate, or if you're already involved in real estate, you want to learn how to scale your business, to grow it exponentially. It's for anyone wanting to change their current situation, to reduce the stress of always worrying about money. And then obviously anyone that wants to make more money. Now, who it is not for. Guys, it's not for people that think there's this magic button, that there's a get rich quick way to do this. For non-action takers, anyone that's lazy, people that want something for nothing because they're just, that isn't reality. And I want to make this very, very clear. Everything we do, we want to be upfront. We want to be just as transparent as possible. Guys, if you want to succeed in real estate, and for that fact, anything, it's going to take some time, effort. It's going to take some work. Now, what you're going to learn today is there's ways to have someone else do that work, but it's still going to take some time to learn this, to understand it. And the fact is, if you're willing to put in some time and effort and some work, where you can end up, it's off the charts. Real estate is an awesome vehicle to get anyone. And that's the beauty. Regardless of your background, regardless of where you are right now, what you've done, what you haven't done, real estate is a vehicle that can get anyone to the place they want to be financially. And that's one of the reasons, again, that I love real estate. Okay, so let's talk about this wholesaling thing. What is wholesaling? Well, if you look at it in the traditional sense, here's the Webster Dictionary version. All I need you to write down, though, in your notes, please, is we want to be the person in the middle. I mean, if you look at traditional wholesaling, it's you've got a manufacturer of a product, you've got then the person in the middle, which is the wholesaler, and then a retailer. And that's exactly the same way it is in a real estate transaction. When we talk about wholesaling in real estate, all we're going to do is put ourselves in the middle between the seller and the buyer. And we're going to facilitate helping the seller get out of a bad situation. And we're going to facilitate by helping these investors or these cash buyers to be able to find the deals that they want to do without them having to spend their time going out and trying to find them. And I'll make sure that that makes complete sense as we go along so that you for sure understand this. All right, so why wholesaling? Why should everyone on here be doing wholesale deals? And I absolutely believe that. Number one, it's a great way for new investors to get into real estate with virtually no money. Having good credit is an absolute non-issue because when we look at a wholesaling deal, your credit won't even come into play. It provides quick cash. There is no long-term commitment. I mean, this is, we do the deal and we get paid. And so when I say quick cash, I mean, it can be literally in a matter of days. Now, in my opinion, wholesaling is the easiest. I'll change that. It's the most simple. How about that? I don't like people to hear the word easy because then they, oh, this is easy. It will take time and effort again and some work, but it's very simple to do. And it's the quickest way to get paid that I know of in doing a real estate deal. And then lastly, it's a catalyst for moving into the next phase of your real estate investing career, whether that be you want to start doing some fix and flips, you want to start developing a rental portfolio, whatever it is, this can be a great catalyst and it's a great place for anyone to get started. Okay, so when we look at wholesaling, you look at, there's three types of income: earned, passive, and portfolio. Now, today, I'm only going to actually talk to you about earned income because doing a wholesale deal is earned income. Earned income simply means you're going to trade time for money. So when people go to work at their job, they go to work for 8 hours typically and they get paid. If they don't show up for work, they don't get paid. Okay, that's like a wholesale deal. So The good thing is we find the deal, we hand it over to a cash buyer, and we're going to get paid. We're that person again in the middle. Now, I will reference somewhat at the latter part of the webinar. We'd hope that everyone would want to move to passive and portfolio income because it's very difficult to become wealthy only using earned income. Passive and portfolio income is really where the majority of wealth is always created. So, I mean, earned income, you do it once, you get paid once. Passive income, you do it once, you continue to get paid. And then portfolio income is just your money making you more money. And you really do nothing other than put the money in whatever vehicle that happens to be. So today we're going to focus only on earned income, but I don't want you to forget about passive and portfolio income. So let's talk about what wholesaling is. Remember, the key to wholesaling is you need to be the person where? You need to be the person in the middle. So there's you in the middle. And when you look at a real estate transaction, there's always going to be an acquisition side and a disposition side. So on the acquisition side, that's the buy side of the transaction, and the disposition side is the sell side of the transaction. So let's just look at an actual person who goes out to buy a house for themselves to live in. So on the acquisition side, you're looking to buy a house. So typically what people do, they call a real estate agent. The real estate agent goes and shows them, half a dozen houses. They make a decision. I want this one. And what happens? You put that property under contract. And while it's under contract, you actually control that property. The owner of the property can't sell it to someone else. They can't do anything with it because for a certain period of time, you actually control that property. Now, the next step is after you control it, obviously, if it's a home you're going to live in, you're going to go to closing. You're going to actually buy the property. You're going to take title for that property, and then you're going to move into that property. So I want you to just understand there's only two options on the acquisition side, buy it or control it. Now, on a wholesale deal, it's really no different than that, other than we're going to teach you how to find these deals from distressed homeowners. And when we find them and negotiate a price, all we're going to do is control that property. And how do you control a property without buying it? You simply put it under contract. So we'll put it under contract. And by the way, we'll show you the contracts that we use on the deals that we do every single day. We'll show you that there are things in those contracts that protect you, that protect us, so that if, as we progress through this and we do an inspection and find out that it's got a foundational crack, it's got major roof problems, and it's got termites, there's always a way that we can back out of this deal and not have to fulfill on the deal. So we'll provide the contract so that you know exactly what to do and how to do it, but all we're going to do is control that property with the contract. Now, when traditionally you're buying a house you're going to live in, you go to closing and buy it. We're not going to do that. We're simply going to control the property with a contract. Then we're going to go find a cash buyer, an investor, and we're going to take that contract and we're simply going to sell them our control, or we're going to sell them, if you will, the contract. And it's called assigning the contract over to the cash buyer. Now, once the control is signed over to the cash buyer, that deal is now between the seller and the cash buyer. You and I are out of the deal. So how do we make our money? We will charge the cash buyer a fee, an assignment fee. So we will assign or sell the contract to the cash buyer, and they pay us a fee. Now, the reason they're going to do that, so they don't have to go find these deals. But all we're doing is we're going to be the person in the middle between the acquisition side and the disposition side. We don't buy the property. Once we sell the contract to the cash buyer, whatever they're going to do, they're going to close. They're going to buy the house. They're going to fix it up and sell it. They're going to fix it up and keep it. Whatever they do with it, really doesn't matter to us because we're out of the deal, we've made our money, and we're on to the next deal. And again, if that's not completely clear, it will become more clear as we go along. All right, if you're going to do a wholesale deal, there's 5 major components. And I want you to put in your notes, please, number 1, 2, and 3. So number 1 is we have to have a motivated seller. Now, number 2 is you. You're the wholesaler. And number 3, we've got to have these investors or cash buyers. Now, I put on here number 4, lender with some loopholes. What I mean by that is there may be a chance where you will have to close on the property if you're doing, for instance, what an REO, a bank-owned property. But typically, you're never going to close on these deals. All you're going to do is control it with a contract and assign that contract over to a cash buyer. So really, let's just put number 4 and 5 on the side burner for a while. Let's just focus on finding motivated sellers. You are the wholesaler, and finding these cash buyers so that we can make some money by being that person in the middle. Okay, so there are 3 types of sellers. There are people that want to sell their house. These are people that simply have outgrown the home they're in. They want to upgrade. They don't like it anymore. The reasons could be anything you can think of. Okay, and we have strategies that we can do deals with those people, but we're not going to do deals with those people right now. A wholesale deal, we're not dealing with people that just want to sell their house. Then you're going to run into people who need to sell their home. One example of that is someone gets transferred with their job. They're living in the new city. They've got the new house. They're already moved in, but they still have the home that they left, and they need to sell it. And so if you look at people that want to sell their homes, typically they're going to sell it at market value. People that need to sell their house, usually they're going to sell it. Let's just say it's a $250,000 house. People that need to sell it usually put it on the market at a slight discount. Maybe they'll put it on for $239,900. Okay, we again have strategies for people who need to sell their house, but wholesaling's not it. Wholesaling, we're only going to focus on number 3, and those are people who have to sell their houses. And we call these people distressed homeowners. Now, why is it that there are people who have to sell? What puts them in a situation that they have to sell? Well, we call these the 7 distress triggers. And it's one of these things: debt, death, disease, divorce, drugs, denial, or disaster. And number 1, debt, is you could add all the others up and they wouldn't equal up to the number of people that have to sell because of debt. But you can look at disaster and disease. I mean, with the COVID thing that we're going through right now, I mean, seriously, who would have thought that, 4 or 5 months ago, we would be going through what we're going through right now, that people have lost their jobs, that I mean, I heard read a report on Yelp that 50% of restaurants are done. They're going out of business. They're not coming back. There's a lot of small businesses that aren't coming back. There's a lot of big businesses that they're telling their people, you know what? We like you working from home. It reduces our costs, so let's just keep that going. So it's creating a situation where there are some changes or shifts in the market where, some people, it's creating a lot of anxiety and, not so good things. But the cool part is every time that there are problems create opportunity if you're ready and willing to take advantage of them. And that's the beautiful part of doing a wholesale deal. It really is a win-win-win. We're going to help these distressed homeowners get out of a bad situation, and we're going to help these investors or cash buyers. And obviously, by doing that, we also help ourselves. But the reason people have to sell, it will always come down to one of these 7 things. All right, so when we go to find the cash buyer, there are 2 types: whales and mom and pops. I don't want you to worry about the mom and pop. Let's only focus on whales. What are they? Who are they? These are professional real estate investors. Typically, they're doing 15 to 100 plus deals per year. That's the kind of cash buyers we want to go find. The mom and pops are doing one, maybe two deals a year. They haggle you on everything. They don't really understand the process, where the whales get it. So when we send the numbers over to a well, you know what? They look at the numbers. If the numbers are good, they're going to pop and we're going to do the deal. Mom and pops, they don't do things that way. So if again, you're taking notes, the only ones cash buyers we're going to focus on are these professional investors that are doing anywhere, usually 15 to 100 plus deals per year. Trust me, those are the people you want to find. All right, if we look at the numbers, which numbers, that's what real estate's all about. Currently, this is as of about 10 days ago. In the U.S., there are 15.4 million homes that are in pre-foreclosure. Now, I know that there are new people on the call. So what does pre-foreclosure mean? What happens is if you have a mortgage and you miss 3 payments in a row, you're going to be issued from the lender an NOD. It's called a notice of default. That notice of default is the first public notice that the home is in foreclosure, meaning the bank has started the foreclosure process and it's moving every day closer to going to foreclosure. And what happens is from the pre-foreclosure period, which could be, a few months to several months, then what the bank will do, they'll take the home to auction. And that, as soon as that home is listed or up there and put on the auction block, that becomes active foreclosure. And some of you may have been to one of these real estate foreclosure auctions. I'm sure many of you haven't. If you ever get a chance to go, I would encourage you to go because you'll learn some things. And at these auctions, when they auction these homes off, obviously some of them do sell at the auction, and whoever gets them, they bid the price and they're the owner of the house if they're the top bidder. But a lot of the properties don't sell. And if the property doesn't sell at the auction, it becomes what's called an REO. And that stands for real estate owned, and it's real estate owned by the bank that held the mortgage or the note on that property. And then what the bank does with those properties, typically they'll list them with an agent and obviously try to sell them. So the bottom line is there's 15.4 million homes in pre-foreclosure in this country. Every one of those people are a distressed homeowner, and they need our help to get out of that situation. There's also 17.8 million people that are still unemployed in the U.S. And as I was telling you, there's a lot of those people that aren't going to get their jobs back. And so, again, the problems that are being created by this COVID thing create tremendous opportunity for real estate investors. But again, we have to be willing to take action, to act upon them, and to be in the game. All right, so why now? Why should everyone on this call be doing real estate? Is it a good time? With the COVID thing thriving, yeah, it's a good time. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this, there's never not a good time to be in real estate. Real estate is an equalizer like nothing I've ever seen. That again, regardless of background, regardless of whatever you've done or not done, real estate is something anyone can do. You can be very good at. It's something, though, that has to be learned. So it is a phenomenal time. Look, real estate's cyclical. It goes up and it goes down. The good thing about real estate is over time, and this is proven by history, real estate appreciates. Now, again, it is cyclical. It doesn't always appreciate. For instance, go back to 2004, 5, 6, and 7. You know that in 08, early 08, we had the financial crisis that was caused by the real estate bubble. So real estate was extremely high. Everyone was buying, everyone was in the game because real estate was appreciating so rapidly, between 2004, 5, 6, and 7. Well, then 2008 hits, the real estate bubble collapses, and the price of real estate, drops through the bottom of the floor. So I'll give you an example. In Las Vegas, which is a place that I like to invest, there were properties in Vegas that, let's just take easy numbers, that in 2007 were worth $100,000. Well, by the end of 2008, some of those properties were worth $25,000. They had lost 75% of their value. Now, I want you to understand this. For the people that owned those homes, that was a major problem. But look at it on the real estate investor side, on my side of it. Being able to go in and buy a home that a few months ago was worth $100,000 that I can now buy for $25,000, that is an opportunity like nothing else. And I'm sure everyone on here, you can remember, you see this home that you're driving to work, and you see this home that has a for sale sign in it, and you know that a few months ago that home was worth $250,000, and now they're selling it for $139,000. And every one of us thought, you know what, I should buy that. I wish I could buy that. But the problem is, I don't have the money. I don't know how. I don't understand it. So we just drive by it every evening, every morning, on our way to work, on our way home. And before you know it, the for sale sign is gone. There's a dumpster in the driveway, and someone has bought the house. And they got it at a big time discount. And usually they'll renovate the house. If they kept it, this is something I did a lot of. We renovated the homes. We kept them for a few years. Maybe we'll never sell them, but if we keep them for a few years, turn around and sell it. And if you look at the homes in 2008, 9, 10 that were down here at the bottom, now those prices have come back, and you could turn around and sell it for what it was worth back in 2007. Plus, you've been getting the rental income, passive income from that home for several years. And this is why now is the best time, because we're coming into one of these periods where the prices, the tides are changing, and we're going to have this other down cycle, we believe, where there will be huge opportunities to buy discounted properties from distressed homeowners at a phenomenal price. All right, we're going to go through a scenario, but this applies to everything that we're saying on here. We want to make sure that when we work with our students, that they understand we always tell you the truth. We want to make sure we're completely transparent. So I've got to share this with you. We provide real estate education and training. We do not sell a business opportunity such as a franchise in any way, shape, or form. We make no earnings or return on investment guarantees. We're not licensed financial planners. We offer no financial, retirement, tax, accounting, or legal advice prior to undertaking any real estate transaction or any investment transaction. You should independently evaluate the risk associated with any deal. The case studies and or scenarios provided may come from myself, from Matt, from any of our other trainers. It may be examples from some of our top students who have shared what they've done with us. But all these studies, all these scenarios are for educational purposes only. And I will say again, if you're in this to get rich quick or to make a quick buck or to just, if you look at things unrealistically when it comes to business, this just wouldn't be something for you, because it's not get rich quick. Again, it's going to take time, effort, and work, but that's okay, because it's worth it. It's worth it times 10. Okay, so in the wholesale process, there are three main parties. Number one, we got to find that motivated seller. That is the distressed homeowner. Number two, where are you? You're in the middle. And then number three is the cash buyer, these whale cash buyers that are doing 15 to 100 plus deals per year. So let's talk about something relevant right now. Joe and Jessica both worked at a major hotel chain. COVID-19 has put both of them out of their jobs. They're now 90 days plus late on their mortgage. So again, when you're 90 days late, you are going to receive this NOD, this notice of default, that your home is now in foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, but it's moving towards being sold at an auction. So they are in the position that the bank will eventually foreclose on the property, which is going to impact their credit. It's going to impact, and it's not going to impact their credit for a few years, for several years. It's going to, impact their hopes of securing a mortgage in the future. And usually there is a huge loss of equity in a lot of these properties. So this is, again, where we have the opportunity to help someone like that out, because once you're 90 days late, I've had people say, well, I've called the bank and said, hey, I've got enough money to make a payment. Well, the bank's going to say, no, we don't want one payment. You're 3 payments behind, and you either make all of it up or one payment doesn't work. And that's why most people are unable to get this thing turned around, and that's where we're going to step in and help them. So number one, in the scenario, the wholesaler steps in, we assist the distressed homeowner, and we negotiate them with the cash buyer. We gather all of the necessary information from the homeowner. We run the numbers. We evaluate the numbers, make sure it's a good deal for everyone involved. Again, I put it here, don't forget to add your profit, what you want to make on the deal. And then we work with the cash buyer to get the deal handed over to them. And whatever they then do with it, they're going to buy it. They're going to fix it up and sell it. They're going to fix it up and hold it. Again, that doesn't matter to us, the wholesaler. So I'm going to give you an actual example. This is a home in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. We'll say it is a sample property, but the numbers are real. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family home. The homeowner is like the couple we just talked about. They've fallen behind on their mortgage for whatever one of those 7 reasons happen to be, and now they are in trouble. And the bank is moving to send their home to auction, and they're going to lose their house. So if you look at the numbers on this house, the estimated value, $157,471. So this home is worth around $157,000. Yet the homeowners only owe on their mortgage about $47,000. So when I say a tremendous amount of equity, this home has over $110,000 worth of equity in that house. And I get people that say, well, why don't they just list it and sell it? Well, remember back in 2008, 9, and 10, when people were trying to sell their houses and they were selling them at a huge discount even, and still couldn't sell them because there's a lot of people that don't have the money to buy them. Now, the people that were buying them were people like me, people like Matt, people like on our team and our students that were investors. So we're going to help these people out by helping them get rid of the property. We'll get it over to cash buyer, and we're going to make some money in the middle. So let's just look at the numbers. If the estimated value is $157,471, they owe $46,754. Let's say on this deal that we decide we want to make a $10,000 assignment fee for being in the middle. Okay, we've looked at the house. We've estimated that the home needs $20,000 in renovation. The closing costs of miscellaneous will be around $3,000. And we're going to, when we hand it off to the cash buyer, if they fix it up and sell it, they typically are going to want to sell it at a discount. So if they sell it at 10% of ARV, and if you're new to real estate, ARV stands for after repaired value. That's the only number that really matters to us. It's what a home is worth in mint condition. So let's just walk through this. We found this couple. We helped them by having them avoid the foreclosure so they don't have a foreclosure on their credit that will haunt them for the next several years of their lives. We get their home under contract, and we take that contract and we sell that or assign it over to a cash buyer. Now, for us doing that, the cash buyer is going to give us an assignment fee of $10,000. So in this case, you would have just made $10,000. Now, please understand, I am not saying you're going to make $10,000 on every assignment deal you do. You may make more than that. You may make less than that. That's just the reality. But I want you to look at this because the potential for the cash buyer, the investor over here that we found that ended up closing on the deal, their potential profit is over $62,000. So the question I know some of you are going to ask is, why would a cash buyer do that? Why would they pay us a fee, in this case, an assignment fee of 10 grand, when they could just go find that property themselves. And instead of making 62,000, they would have made 72,000. And it's a legitimate question. But I want to give you an example of why they're willing to do that. First of all, I mean, look at the last, certainly they could do it, but an example, would you be willing to pay someone 10 grand if they went out, found the property, negotiated the deal, ran all the numbers, worked with the distressed homeowner? Would you be willing to pay them $10,000 to simply hand that over to you so that you can do what you do best, which is renovate it and sell it, or renovate it and keep it? The answer is absolutely yes. But last September, so just about, wow, it's hard to believe, about a year ago, I was at a high-level mastermind up at Sundance Ski Resort in Utah. And when I say high level, it was people that were kick butt, make it happen people, and most of them were real estate investors. And I made it a point that when I found an investor that was doing a lot of deals, these were, again, professional real estate investors that were fix and flippers. And when I found them, I asked them point blank, I just said, hey, how are you finding your deals? In your market, what are you doing to find all these good deals? And absolute, every single one, unequivocally, every 100% of them looked at me and said, I don't find the deals. I have a handful of wholesalers that they know what properties I like. They know the numbers I like. They know the areas I like. They know, the bed bath configuration. What they know, all of my numbers. They're finding the deals. I pay them an assignment fee. They assign me the contract. I buy the house. It was not one of them said anything different than that. So if you want to be a wholesaler and you want to do this on a full-time basis, I mean, I'm telling you, there are investors, these cash buyers out there, excuse me, they don't want to go find these houses. They want people like you to find them for them, put everything together and just hand it over to them. And they're more than willing to pay you 5, 10, and we're looking at numbers. People that we had someone on here from San Diego, someone from Boston. When I say you can get a home for, it's worth 157,000, they're thinking, you're crazy. There's no homes for that. But it's still applicable in your area. We just look at starter home price range. I mean, in the Midwest, that may be 89,000, where a starter home in Manhattan is $1 million. But everything's still applicable. The numbers still apply. It just is going to be more. You're going to make more if you're in those areas on the coast than you would in the Midwest, but it's still the chance to make really good money. All right, the benefits of wholesaling. And this is what gets you excited. The average wholesale deal is 30 to 45 days. Many times they can be much faster than that because this is an all cash transaction. They can happen very quickly. They can close very, very quickly. The profit is determined 100% by you. Now, I would just caution you, don't be greedy. I want the cash buyers that we deal with to make a lot of money so that when I send them a deal, they want the deal. They know they're going to make a lot of money. I'm going to make some money, and we're helping some people out that are in a bad situation over here on the owner side. You do not need a lot of money out of pocket, and good credit is not required. So you simply make an assignment fee of whatever, $2,000, $22,000, and anything in between, but you're the one that determines that. And having the ability to determine how much you make, I mean, just think about this. We're doing, with Matt, we do 20 to 30 deals per month. Now, some of them are wholesale deals, some of them are fix and flips. We're doing every kind of deal that there is. But the bottom line is, just imagine if you could do one deal, one extra deal a month, an extra $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. And if you can do one, you can do two. And if you can do two, with what I'm going to show you here in a moment, you can do 20 to 30. Believe me. Now, it won't start that way. We got to get deal number one done. It'll be the hardest deal that anyone ever does because we got to overcome this fear. The reason most people fail is they never really start. I mean, what I do not want to happen, I do not want you to get on this webinar, get all excited and say, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to change my life. But then they've still got work. They've still got the kids to deal with. They've got all the other stuff that's going on in their life. And that ends up taking over, and fear kicks in because they think, I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to do. And bottom line is they go right back to doing what they're doing. One of my favorite quotes, it's the start that stops most people. And why? Because we have this fear mechanism. We have got to kick that fear right in the teeth, and we got to overcome it. And that's what we want to help you do. So who is Hidden Houses? Hidden Houses, I told you my name is Brock Madsen. I did my first real estate deal over 30 years ago. I've done pretty much every kind of real estate deal that there is. Our most recent project that we're working on, we've developed some land, and we're building a 60-unit apartment complex right now. But I didn't start out that way. So that's what I mean by wholesaling can be a great catalyst for you to get more involved in real estate and do bigger and better deals. Also, my partner, Matt Larson, if you look at that picture, you can see that's Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, and then Matt is the one on the right. Matt Larson is, in my opinion, the man. And the way that I met Matt is I met him several years ago. And several years ago, here's a guy that was just killing it. He got started in real estate in 2005. And had never done anything like this. He has I don't have time to go through his whole story, but he has a very cool backstory. Just as a great guy, Midwest guy. And here's this guy doing all of these deals. And I got a hold of Matt with my business partner. And I said, look, I want to have you show me everything you're doing so that I can scale my business, and I want to be doing what you're doing. And so Matt said, yeah, I would love to spend a little time with you and your partner. So he invited us out to his office. We went out there, but he said, I need 2 days. I can't do it over the phone in this case. I want you to come out for 2 days, spend the 2 days with me. Now, he charged us $20,000. So we paid 20 grand to go out and spend 2 days with Matt Larson so that he could show us the systems and the processes that he used to get him to scale his business to be doing that many deals. And Matt's been my mentor ever since. I mean, here's a guy that's been in real estate for just 15 years. He's done well over 4,000 real estate deals. He has his own property management company now that they manage over 1,400 doors. He owns over 200 rental properties himself. And here's a guy that has done 20 or 30 deals per month for over a decade. And when I say Matt's the real deal, there's a lot, and I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but the truth is there's a lot of these gurus that you see online and on TV that are flipping houses or doing this or that kind of deal that really, they don't do those real estate deals. Matt is not that guy. Matt is a guy that actually he does the deals, and people started asking him, hey, can you train me? Can you, just like I did, can you teach me? Can you give me your processes? And so every bit of our education is stuff that we use, Matt uses, I use every day in our own business. So Matt's the real deal. He is an incredible human being, and I've loved to have him as my personal mentor for the last several years. Okay, so let's get into how we find these deals. So how do you find people that are motivated to sell, that have to sell their houses? Well, there are numerous strategies that we use. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Now, Craigslist may be a site you haven't looked at for years, but it's still extremely effective. I mean, we still use bandit signs. There are numerous online strategies that we use to help us find these motivated sellers. But I put over here the best way. The best way is to use virtual assistants. And this is what I've been excited to talk to you about. Okay, what is a virtual assistant? A virtual assistant is a human being that we're going to hire to do the tasks that either we're not good at or that we don't want to do to save ourselves time. I mean, if you look at Matt Larson, here's a guy that has done 20 to 30 deals a month and has been doing that for over a decade, done well over 4,000 deals. And if you were to ask Matt, hey, Matt, how much are you working per week? What do you work a week to get 25 deals done a month? His answer is going to be less than 5 hours. And the reason is Matt has perfected this virtual assistant process. So a virtual assistant is someone that is going to take over the tasks that you don't want to do. Look, a lot of you on here are going to, if you want to start doing real estate, you're going to have to continue to work at your job until you're making as much or more money through real estate as you are at your job. That's the point that I would say, okay, now if you want to quit your job, you can, and let's go do real estate full time. But wouldn't it be cool? Just imagine that you hire a virtual assistant. They're usually people that are out of the United States. For instance, the ones that we love are in the Philippines. Now we have other places, but the Philippines are the ones that we love. And typically, we're going to pay virtual assistants between $3 and $10 per hour. And before you think that we're cheapskates and that we're, shouldn't be doing that, if someone in the Philippines makes $3 to $10 an hour, they're some of the best paid people that live in the village or the town that they're in. So we're really providing a great way for them to be able to provide for themselves and their families. So these virtual assistants, we're going to teach you how to find phenomenal virtual assistants. Now, these virtual assistants are going to do a lot of the tasks. So imagine you get started in real estate, you want to do some wholesale deals. Well, you got to find some deals. Well, how do you do that? You hand off to the virtual assistant every one of those tasks and say, today while I'm at work, I need you to go find me 8 good potential deals. And all they're going to do is go do that. Now, when you say, well, what do you have them do? We'll show you. We give you everything step by step, literally word for word, what they need to do to accomplish that. Because it's no good to have a virtual assistant and say, I need you to go find deals. Well, they don't have a clue what you're talking about. The thing you need to do with virtual assistants, you've got to give them precise directions on exactly what you want them to do. Well, you don't have to come up with that because we've already developed that. We've perfected that. So all you do is hand that over to them, and we do the same thing on finding cash buyers. So you say, okay, virtual assistant, I need, in the 8 hours that I'm gone to work, I need you to go find me 40 whale cash buyers that I can add to my cash buyer list, that when I find a deal, I can send this deal over to them and I can have them looking at it and potentially buying it. And imagine getting home from work and you've got a virtual assistant that's found you 40 cash buyers and they've got 8 great deals ready for you to look at. And now you don't have to do all of this busy work, and you're paying them typically between $3 and $10 an hour. Now, I just want to be clear here. If you say, okay, that sounds great, but I don't have the money to pay someone even $3 an hour, that's okay. Then we've got the processes, the systems, we got the contracts, the scripts, word for word, what you need to say to sellers, buyers, how to negotiate. We've got all of that. You'll get that. And then you can just do it yourself. And then when you get a little money, then we would very much encourage you, let's get one, start with one virtual assistant. And, if you look at Matt, he just hired 3 more. I believe he's now he has 12 virtual assistants working for him. And that's how you can do 20 to 30 deals every month and work less than 5 hours a week. So as far as finding the deals, finding the cash buyers that are going to want to buy them, you can do that yourself in the beginning, or if you want to scale your business much faster, you can get a virtual assistant, and eventually you'll want to get more virtual assistants when you see exactly how good they are at what they do. And if they're talking to your potential buyers and sellers, we'll show you. We teach you how to train them, how to hire them. We give them an English test. We make sure that they have the internet speed that we need. And I mean, there's nothing that has fallen through the cracks, so that we know you will be hiring the right virtual assistant to help you in your business. Tony said repetition is the mother of skill. And you saw that picture of Tony Robbins, and I failed to mention this to you, and this is a cool story. Tony Robbins was taking a little bit of flack because he was motivating all of these people. And in my opinion, he's the greatest motivator there is. Yet then when we got home, there was like, okay, what do we use this motivation to do? And so Tony wanted to learn about real estate investing. And he started reaching out and reaching to this person and this person. And eventually he got to Matt Larson. And Matt Larson actually spent 3 days in the Wynn Hotel with Tony Robbins, training him how to successfully invest in real estate. And so that's why that picture of Tony and Matt that I showed you is because that was in the actual hotel room at the Wynn Hotel. And Matt said Tony was the best student he's ever taught, didn't look at his phone once in 3 days, took great notes, and obviously has done some very, very good things. But he said repetition is the mother of skill. So how do we get good at something? We do it over and over. And real estate investing is no different than anything else. You can learn how to do this. I mean, I look at my kids. My wife wants all my children to play the piano. So I have zero musical ability, but when they're 4 or 5, she wants them to start learning. She sits them down. She's the one that teaches them. And my kids come to me and say, Dad, you don't understand what she's asking us to do. I mean, I got to read this line of music and play it with this hand and this line with this hand. I got the pedal thing going all at the same time. And unless you're a prodigy, that's going to be a little overwhelming. But after you've been taught and trained and the repetition of doing it over and over, 3-4 months later, my kids look at me, they're playing these songs saying, this isn't as tough as I thought. Real estate is absolutely no different than that. You can learn it. You will learn it. And we want to be the ones to help you do that. So again, the wholesaling benefits, great way for you to break into the real estate market. No money. I mean, very, very little money is required. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that. When you put these properties under contract, so you find the distressed homeowner, you put the property under contract. In order to make the contract legal and binding, you will have to put deposit earnest money in escrow. And when we're doing these deals with for sale by owners, typically we're going to only use $1. We're going to put $1 of earnest money to make the contract legal and binding. So when we say it requires very little money, I mean, $1 to up to $100 is it. And your credit doesn't even come into play. So if you have the worst credit on the planet, you can do that and do this. And that's why wholesaling is such a great way to start. It provides a great way to make some money very, very quickly, no long-term commitments, and it is the catalyst to get out of just earned income. Now, I'm not saying we should ever quit doing wholesale deals, but we ought to look at the same time, starting to get some rental properties in there and in some portfolio income strategies. And that way, then wealth can happen exponentially. I mean, the speed at which we can get where we want to go, it's much more difficult if we have to do something every time to get paid. All right, so why now? Why should you get started now? Well, why not? If not now, when? And if not this, what? There are 7 days in a week, and someday isn't one of them. I have people tell me, well, I'll do it someday. I'll do it someday. Well, some days never happen. You need to take control of your financial future. I know everyone on here wants to. Jobs are going to be downsizing. This COVID thing has put, our country and this world actually on its ear. A lot of people are going to be working from home. We always need a place to live, and then the inventory, and that's where the cyclical part of the market comes into play, where the things that happen that are bad provide phenomenal opportunities. Now, it's not just about doing a deal. It's about having a plan. This is a business. I want you to run this like a business. And we want to be there to help you from the beginning through the middle and to the end. And that's what we're here to do. Okay, so why us? Our team of real estate professionals have in the game over 75 years of experience in real estate. I mean, well over 4,000 real estate deals completed, 1,337 homes that we've wholesaled, 2,655 homes that have been renovated. I told you Matt manages over 1,400 units. We're the industry leader in wholesale education. So when you look at this picture, this is when Matt was training Tony, and Tony Robbins' quote was, he said, "I've done some deals with Matt. There's not a smarter guy in the single family home market than this guy right now." So that's coming from someone who is at the top of his industry. Why us? This is just one of our students. Now, again, not everyone's going to go out and do exactly this. You may do more, you may do less. But we get this email, "Dear Brock and the A-Team." So here's the deal. I found the house for sale by owner, and they were asking $50,000. We went back and forth and settled on $26,500. So they got this home under contract for $26,500. After getting it under contract with a very little small amount of refundable earnest money, that would be $1, I showed the property to a prospective cash buyer 3 days later and assigned the deal over to him, the cash buyer, for a $6,000 assignment fee. I tell you, I'm floating on cloud nine. And that's what I want for every single one of you, because there's always this little bit of doubt in the back of people's minds, like, I don't know that I can do it. I don't think I can really do it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to this. But when you work with us and you really do have a step-by-step, word-for-word process of what to do, what to say, how to do it, anyone on here can do it, and you can do it quickly. And this is what you're going to feel like when you do it. And once this first deal is done, then the floodgates are opened, and that's when we can really go to work, because now you know that it's real. You know you can do it. You know we're going to be there to help you. So bottom line, why you? Guys, this is about you. You want to take control. You want to invest in real estate, or you wouldn't be on here. You need cash now. Who doesn't? You need to learn the how-to of real estate. You need the help. And I mean, you need the motivation. The thing is, you've got a lot of motivation, but we just need to teach you and show you how to channel that motivation. Look, if you're not getting your education from someone who knows more about the subject than you, a mentor, then you're making mistakes, and that's costing you money. Look, that's why I paid Matt the 20 grand to teach me and to be my mentor. I paid Matt for speed, to be able to get where I wanted to go faster than I could get there by myself. And it's an investment. I paid him the 20 grand because I knew the things that he would teach me would help me make back not just that 20 grand, but a lot more than that several times over. So we're going to be here to help you. We want to help you. And I hope this is something that you really say, I want to get done. So how can we help you? We have, with Matt, put together a program called Virtual Wholesaling Suite. It has absolutely everything that you need. And I mean that literally. You will get our ebook workbook, the hiring process, finding the areas, how to find deals using Craigslist, Facebook, how to find deals and make offers on Zillow, and many, I mean, you'll get all of the strategies that we use every single day. Now, if you look at this, I wanted you to see an example. I want you to see and understand that this is different. I mean, I know people say, well, I could just go read a book on wholesaling. And the students that I've talked to will say, well, people have told me, or I've read a book, this is how you go find cash buyers, or this is how you go find distressed homeowners. But the problem is they don't tell you what to say to them. What do I say to them? How do I negotiate with them? What do I do once I get to this point? So I want to just show you, if you will, this is the table of contents. And I want you to just understand how thorough this is. So chapter 1, why virtual assistants? Chapter 2, how to find and hire virtual assistants through Fiverr. Chapter 3, how to find and hire virtual assistants through Upwork. How to find buyers and wholesalers. Chapter 5, finding title companies and attorneys. Chapter 6, how to sign documents anywhere. Chapter 7, customer relationship manager. So a CRM. Now, if you want to start with a CRM, great. If not, we'll show you how to begin without it and then work up to a CRM. Chapter 8, write this one down. Chapter 8, creating unlimited motivator seller leads. And the cool part is, who's going to be doing most of this for you? The answer is your virtual assistant. Chapter 9, how to use a virtual assistant to sort great leads fast. Chapter 10, how to make offers sight unseen. We're going to teach you how to make offers on properties absolutely sight unseen. Chapter 11, offer accepted, it's time to lock up the deal. How do you lock up the deal? How to send a purchase agreement to the seller, the inspection period, and all of the protections and out clauses. Chapter 12, how to send the deal to your cash buyers, how to package the deal and send it over to your cash buyers so that your cash buyers can look at it and determine very quickly if this is a deal that they want. Chapter 13, showing the property to your buyers. And then chapter 14 is collecting offers and getting the house sold. Chapter 15, closing the deal and getting paid. Timeline to close and get paid. Chapter 16, mind map and overview, and then closing thoughts. So I just want you to understand, this is a 155-page manual where literally our program, Virtual Wholesaling, it's awesome. It takes you from start to finish, everything from the entire wholesaling process to finding and hiring virtual assistants, all of the strategies we use every day spelled out step by step, all contracts you will ever need, all the scripts, word for word. What do you say to sellers? What do you say to your buyers? What do you say to your virtual assistants? How to negotiate. You will get all of that. Now, our current retail price for that is $9.97. And look, I want to make sure that this is affordable to everyone on here today. So for everyone on here today, we're discounting this around 80%. You can get everything that I just mentioned for only $197. Now, I don't know how long Matt and I are going to leave this up there. I don't know how long the offer will last, but take advantage of it today. For heaven's sakes, a lot of people on here, I'm sure, spend more than $197 a month on coffee. This is a program that literally can change your life if you will take action and get up and make it happen. So if you want to get the program at the discount of $197, you can click the link over in the chat section. Please do. Or you could go to hiddenhousesvirtual.com. When you go to hiddenhousesvirtual.com, again, the program will be there. It'll be at a discounted prices. So with that being said, for those of you that take action today, because it's if you look at Success Magazine just did a study, and they found that people who are willing to change their habits, to change what they do normally and create a new habit, they are 72% more likely to succeed. So let us help you change your daily routines, to change your habits, to have this feeling of, hey, I'm doing something that's helping myself, my family. And if virtual wholesaling is all you ever want to do, you can make some really good money. Just imagine doing one of these deals a month, two of these deals a month. and we would love to be there to help you. Okay, those of you that take action today and get started with us, you are going to get 3 phenomenal bonuses. Bonus number 1, we will give you a virtual assistant setup guide. It will be included in your materials. The VA setup guide is something we sell for $99, and you will get that for free. Next, you're going to get 3 deal reviews. So we have a form in the materials that you'll get. When you get a deal structured, you'll put the deal on the form. You can't screw it up because we'll tell you everything that we need to know, and you'll send the numbers over to us. We'll look at those numbers and then make sure that the deal that you've got going is a good deal, so that you're able to feel good about the deal and make the money that you want to make on the deal. Next, bonus number 3 is the renovation manual. So this is a great time just to quickly talk about this. Once you start doing wholesale deals, earned income, okay, if you think back to the numbers I gave you on that one scenario, we, as the wholesaler in the middle, we made a $10,000 assignment fee. Well, what did the cash buyer make that renovated the house and then turned around and sold it? They made over $60,000. So obviously 10,000 is good, but 60,000 is better. So if you've ever wanted to do a fix and flip, this manual, it literally covers the entire process from start to finish of how to find the contractors, how to deal with the contractors, the contracts for the contractors. I mean, literally everything. Everything in this program, including those 3 bonuses. And by the way, that renovation manual we sell every day for $297 just as a standalone deal, $297. So today you're getting the virtual wholesale suite, $997. Bonus number 1, the VA setup guide, $99 value, the 3 deal review, $99, and the renovation manual at $297. You're getting a total value of over almost $1,500, and you're getting it today for $197. So please go over to hiddenhousesvirtual.com, or you can click the link over in the chat area and you can get started immediately. Now, for those, again, that take action today, I'm going to include one more thing. We're going to give you 3 months of support. This is 3 months of our premier support, that during that 3-month period, if you have a question, if you have something you want to talk about, if you're not sure about something, you just pick up the phone and call us, and one of our team members will be happy to help you to make sure you're comfortable with the process. So you get all of that today, all for $197. Listen, I really appreciate all of you for being on here today. It's been a pleasure. I hope you feel like it's been time well spent. Again, my name is Brock Madsen, partner with Matt Larson. We would love to be a part of your real estate success and want to be there from the start to the beginning, at the beginning to the end, to be able to help you. So please get started today. We'd be happy and honored to have you as one of our students. God bless every single one of you. Thanks again so much for being on. Oh, I promised that we would answer a couple of questions, and I've had a couple of emails, and what did I do with them? Just something that people have been asking about our support. When can you start? When can you get the program, get access to it so you can start? As soon as you've signed up, immediately you will have access to everything that I've just talked to you about, literally immediately. Okay, the support, once you're on, you're a part of our team. Once you've signed up, if you need something, you get on the phone and call us, and we would be happy to help you. So as you go through this, as you work on this process, again, we want to be involved in it with you. I again thank you very much for being here. If you have any other questions, there'll be an email you can send them to. I believe I've been watching the questions over here, and I believe most of them have been answered, but those are the 2 that I went over, just things that we hear all of the time. When do I get access to the stuff? How quickly can I get started? And the answer is you can get started immediately. All right, be safe out there. God bless every single one of you. Thanks again for attending, and I wish you nothing but success in anything that you attempt. God bless every one of you. Have a great day.